Imagine opening your front door to find men dressed like police officers demanding answers. That's exactly what happened to Vanessa, a respected woman who had lived in her neighborhood for years. At first glance, anyone would have believed the men were real law enforcement. They wore badges, uniforms, even carried radios that crackled with static. But something felt wrong. Their voices were sharp, rehearsed, and their eyes lacked the calm confidence of trained officers. They claimed they were there because of unpaid HOA fines. Vanessa raised her eyebrows, sensing a setup. She had always paid her dues on time, and even if she hadn't, real police wouldn't come knocking over a neighborhood dispute. The so-called officers grew pushy, trying to intimidate her into letting them inside. Neighbors peeked from their windows, unsure whether to intervene. What they didn't know was that Vanessa wasn't just another homeowner, she carried a secret that would soon leave the imposters trembling. The men began rattling off accusations, saying Vanessa owed thousands in back fees, and if she didn't comply, they'd take further action. Their words were vague, their tone forceful. Vanessa studied them carefully. One of them wore his badge slightly crooked, another had his shirt untucked, unlike the sharp appearance of trained officers she knew. She felt anger rise in her chest, not from fear, but from the sheer audacity of their charade. Behind her calm face, her mind was racing. She could end this in seconds, but she chose patience. She wanted to see how far they'd go. The fake cops leaned closer, trying to block her doorway, whispering about arrests and handcuffs. Vanessa tilted her head, pretending to play along, all while her hand drifted toward her side table. The neighborhood had seen HOA power plays before, but nothing like this. They had no idea the trap was about to flip. The leader of the group smirked, saying they could make this problem disappear if she paid cash right there on the spot. That was the final confirmation Vanessa needed. No real officer would ever ask for money at a doorstep. Her eyes narrowed. She asked calmly, "So, who sent you?" The men hesitated, then muttered about the association demanding compliance. Vanessa knew the HOA board had been pushing hard against her ever since she spoke out at a meeting about unfair treatment of certain residents. This wasn't about dues, it was about control. She decided it was time. Moving with deliberate ease, she reached under the table beside the door and pulled out her leather badge case. At first, the men laughed, thinking she was bluffing. But when she flipped it open and the golden shield of a U.S. Marshal glimmered under the porch light, the laughter stopped cold. The porch went silent. The men's confident expressions cracked as they leaned forward, squinting at the badge. One even stuttered, "Wait, you're..." Vanessa's voice cut through the night, calm and commanding. U.S. Marshals don't take kindly to impersonators. The air grew heavy, and the so-called cops shuffled backward. Vanessa stepped out of her doorway, the authority in her stance undeniable. Neighbors who had been peeking through curtains now inched their windows open wider, whispering to one another. The imposter's tough act unraveled fast. The one with the crooked badge glanced at his partner, sweat forming at his brow. Vanessa spoke again, sharper this time, warning them that impersonating law enforcement was a federal crime with serious prison time. Suddenly, the men who had tried to intimidate her just moments ago were trembling like cornered animals. One of the fake officers tried to recover his composure, muttering that there must be some misunderstanding. But his partner couldn't hold the act. He turned and bolted down the walkway, leaving the others stunned. Vanessa didn't flinch. She called out in her commanding tone, "Every one of you is going to answer for this tonight." The neighbors stepped out of their homes now, phones recording, voices murmuring in disbelief. The HOA board had been behind plenty of questionable tactics before, but this, sending fake police, was an entirely new level of recklessness. The leader dropped his fake badge on the ground, muttering excuses before stumbling backward. Vanessa didn't chase them. She didn't need to. With her badge, her training, and the witnesses around, she had everything required to turn this into a case far beyond HOA squabbles. Word spread quickly through the neighborhood. Videos of the confrontation hit social media, gaining thousands of views overnight. Neighbors rallied around Vanessa, shocked at what the HOA had attempted. At the next emergency meeting, residents demanded answers. Board members tried to deny involvement, claiming no knowledge of fake officers, but too many pieces lined up. Vanessa sat quietly, letting them squirm. Then she stood and calmly explained the gravity of what had occurred. She reminded them that this wasn't just an HOA dispute, this was impersonation of federal law enforcement, a felony. The room fell silent. Every resident knew the board had gone too far. Some even began calling for resignations. The HOA's grip on the neighborhood was slipping, and Vanessa's courage had lit the spark of resistance. In the end, the fake cops were caught and charged. Investigators traced their scheme back to certain HOA members who had orchestrated the intimidation attempt. The neighborhood was shaken but also inspired. For years, residents had felt powerless under the board's pressure, but Vanessa's bravery had proven otherwise. She didn't just defend herself, she defended her community. Standing tall, she reminded them that true authority doesn't come from fake badges or empty threats, but from integrity and courage. The HOA's reign of fear crumbled, replaced with a renewed sense of unity among neighbors. And as for Vanessa, she never bragged about what happened. She simply returned to her quiet life, her Marshal badge tucked safely away, knowing that when courage is tested, the truth always shines brighter than fear.